Hey everybody, Ramey here, and today what I want to do is I want to go through some different kinds of tools and options you have when working from home virtually. Like let's say you're not used to working from home, your company's not set up for it for your position, or you're a small business and you're just not used to working from home and you're not really, you just want to know like what tools are available for me to do this, because there's a lot of different concerns you have from working from home than when you're just home like on your personal email and stuff like that. There's different like security and things like that you need to consider. So I'm going to go through several topics today and go through each one and give you some options for free things that are really, really good that you can use that should solve some of your problems, assuming your company doesn't have it. So the main topics I'm going to talk about are cloud storage, email, meetings and presentations, software like Microsoft Office processing, word processing type software, and security. Okay, so let's start with cloud storage. Let's do it in order. So first of all, if your company does not have any kind of cloud service that you're connected to, you might need to share files with people, and it might be much easier than sending them through your company's email back and forth. You might just want to share via a cloud. Okay, so there are a bunch of cloud options out there. The issue that you have with a lot of cloud options out there are, first of all, a lot of them are paid for. So if you're a small business, you might not really be able to just do that right away. If you want your employees to work from home here and there, or maybe you're just doing it for an emergency, someone's sick, and you don't really want to have that paid option. The next problem you have is that they're not all secure. Like there's a bunch of free ones out there like Google Drive, but while it's secure from outside people, Google has your data. And so it can't be trusted in that sense because Google will have it. Not that I think they're going to really do anything with it, but they still would have it. So that doesn't work in a lot of cases. So there are some great cloud storage options out there. One of my favorite is Sync from sync.com. It's very secure. You get free 5 gigabytes. So someone can get 5 gigabytes of free storage for signing up. They can share all their files, have the cloud storage, and it's free. So up to 5 gigabytes, obviously. You would have to pay for more. That's my best option. If you're going to pay, I think Microsoft OneDrive is probably the normal corporate route right now is what people are using. Okay, that's cloud storage. So email. Same thing. Obviously, if you're paying like a Microsoft Exchange, you get like the cloud storage, you get the Exchange, you even get the meetings with the meetings, next topic I'm going to talk about. So if your company's paying for that kind of stuff, that's what you're going to be using. But if you're not, you don't just want to use like your Gmail when you're working from home, especially if you have any kind of secure documents. I would highly encourage you not to use Gmail or other email clients like that. If you're going to use email, and it has any kind of sensitive information, I highly recommend Proton Mail. Proton Mail is free, it's secure, it can be anonymous. It's one of the best email clients out there for people that are trying to send sensitive information. It's Proton Mail. Okay. Otherwise, if it's not sensitive, you can probably use your personal email, but if you have a work email, just use that. Okay, meetings and presentations. Again, if you have work, you have, any software out there that you're using like WebEx, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, that kind of stuff that you can use for this, Adobe Connect, use that. But if you don't, I think the best option out there is probably Zoom, assuming that the free version meets your needs. The free version allows you to go up to 40 minutes, and you can have up to 100 users on the call. So that's Zoom's free option. I think that's a really good option for those in a jam. I think it's a great option. You can use it from your mobile device too. That's my number one recommendation. Now, if you want to, be more public or be on the web, or even you want to be private but you don't want to use Zoom, there are other tools out there like YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, which are streaming tools that gamers use. This is more what I recommend for my teachers to get into if they don't want to use Zoom. But it is an option. It's just a little less private and it's not as secure. Even though you can make it private, I still wouldn't want to put sensitive information on any one of those services. But those are options out there. Okay. software like word processing, like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, that kind of stuff. So first of all, I totally recommend you just have those pieces of software, but let's say you don't. And let's say you're like, well, my company's not going to buy this. It's kind of like we're working from home last minute. They're not going to buy me this stuff because maybe I can't bring like my work machine home. So my work machine has that, but my personal one does not. Do I have to pay for it? What are some alternatives? So there are alternatives out there. I can't say any of them are going to be as good as the Microsoft products, but there are some free alternatives out there. First of all, there's Google Docs, which as I already discussed, there's privacy concerns with Google Docs, but it's an option. I use it in education a lot. I don't use it in corporate so much, but I do use it with my corporate clients, and it's okay because we're not really talking about sensitive stuff all the time. But you have to be mindful. The next option is OpenOffice. OpenOffice is free. You actually download and install it on your machine. So the security issue is going to be when you send it, like through your email or cloud. So hopefully if you're doing that correctly, you're not going to have any issues because it's going to be on your machine. OpenOffice. Now, neither of those programs are going to be as powerful as Word or PowerPoint or Excel, but they're going to do the basics and get you through a time when you have to create something. Okay. Final thing I wanted to talk about. Security. And I have talked a little bit about security, like with your cloud storage and your email, but in general, I want to talk about security. So, if you are on any kind of public Wi-Fi, like you're at Starbucks or something like that, or maybe you're in like an apartment complex, and you think people might be using your Wi-Fi and you haven't really protected it, or you're not sure, or you have a bunch of roommates that aren't like your wife or spouse, kids, that kind of thing, who are on your Wi-Fi as well, I highly recommend that you use a VPN. VPN will protect your data from anyone in that Wi-Fi, using that Wi-Fi from spying on you. So I highly recommend that you use a VPN. Now, if your company has a VPN, use that, sure. But there are a bunch of free ones out there that you can download and install. You simply turn it on and it'll protect everything going in and out. So a good one, just a free one, is Hotspot Shield. There are tons of free VPNs out there for you to use. I do highly recommend you just pay for one because they're pretty inexpensive, but you want free, try Hotspot Shield. It's free. It's pretty easy to use and set up, and it'll help protect you. More things for security, so let's say browser security. My number one recommendation for people for browser security is to use Firefox. Have two plugins for it, HTTPS and uOrigin. Those two will help secure your browser. Now, if you want super high-tech browser security, I highly recommend Tor. Tor is a great browser. It's free to download. It's based off of Firefox. It's open source. It's highly, highly secure. The thing you run into with Tor is not all websites work really well through it. But it definitely is an option. And then there are two other things that I do recommend that you use for computer security on your home machine while you're working from home. One, anti-malware and antivirus protection. I would highly recommend that you download and install these before you do any work from home stuff to verify that your computer is actually clean and free of all viruses and things people are going to spy on you with. Because you don't want to start typing in your work information or sending secure documents that someone else now has access to because you didn't secure your computer at first. So, anti-malware. I really like Malwarebytes. It's free. Download, install Malwarebytes. Check it out. See if your computer has any malware. If not, great. And you don't need to pay for it. It's free. There is like an online version that protects you all the time. But as long as you're running it through like every few days while you're working from home to check that you don't have any malware, you should be good. And the scan itself is very quick. All right, next piece of software, antivirus. And what I recommend is that you use a program called Kaspersky, Kaspersky, Kaspersky. Very good antivirus software. It's free and it'll protect your computer while you're working from home so you don't get any viruses. All right, so those are my recommendations. Those are the things you can do. Now, obviously, if your company has stuff, I highly recommend you use that. But if they don't, and maybe you're a small business, maybe your position specifically is just not set up for things like this, highly recommend you consider that stuff. Just to recap, I talked about cloud storage. I recommended Sync. I talked about email. I recommended Proton Mail. I talked about meetings and presentations. I recommended the free version of Zoom. I talked about open software, word processing. I recommended OpenOffice. And I talked about security from your browser, where I said Firefox or Tor, anti-malware, Malwarebytes, and antivirus, where I recommended Kaspersky. All right, thank y'all.